Some of your packages may not be delivered by the start of next month as UPS workers are preparing for a possible strike. Details on what the workers are demanding from UPS. Plus, check your passport before planning a vacation. The wait time to renew a passport is now several months. We'll explain why. You're watching The Rundown. Hello, everyone. I'm Robin Winston. UPS workers are preparing for a possible strike, which could impact your package deliveries. Representatives with UPS and Teamsters failed to reach an agreement Wednesday. This comes after Teamsters voted to authorize a strike if a new deal is not finalized before their current contract expires July 31st. Now, local Teamsters and members across the country are practicing picketing. The union represents about 340,000 workers, and they are demanding better pay, especially for part-time workers.
Right now, it's the part-time wage. The part-time wage hasn't been keeping up with the times, right, with inflation. So right now, that pay wage needs to go drastically up. They're ready to go on strike if they need to. You know, if the union wants to, or I'm sorry, the UPS wants to continue to stall, that we're ready to go.
Well, the union is calling the latest counteroffer from UPS on pay insulting. They've been unable to agree on wages, compensation, and benefits. UPS released a statement saying, in part, refusing to negotiate, especially when the finish line is in sight, creates significant unease among employees and customers and threatens to disrupt the U.S. economy. Thousands of striking hotel workers in LA and Orange counties have returned to work for now after several days of walking the picket lines. The Union for Hospitality Workers is demanding a $5 an hour raise, better health care, retirement benefits, and a hospitality workers housing fund. Hotels have offered a raise of $2.50 an hour for the first 12 months and $6.25 over 4 years. Union officials say more work stoppages could happen at any time. The LA City Council will send an additional $660,000 to the victims of that botched illegal fireworks detonation in South LA. You may remember the explosion in 2021. It happened as the LAPD tried to conduct a controlled detonation. 17 people were hurt and 22 homes were damaged, along with businesses and vehicles parked along the street. The City Council voted to give that money to help families affected by the explosion, and many of them are still unable to live in their homes. All right, so we've been warning you about long wait times for passports. Well, now the wait is getting even longer, and it could take up to 6 months to get your passport renewed. This is due in part to demand. There's an unprecedented number of Americans traveling internationally after the pandemic. The State Department is advising people to submit applications for passports at least 6 months before their scheduled departure dates. Yes, you heard that right, 6 months. That's because current processing times can take more than 3 months, and that doesn't include the time it takes for your application to travel through the mail. The State Department says it's getting about 400,000 passport applications every week. The California Science Center is about to hit the next milestone in building a permanent home for its crown jewel, the Space Shuttle Endeavour. Essentially, Endeavour is getting its own museum. And when it's finished, visitors will be able to see the shuttle as it would have been seen on the launch pad. So in about 2 weeks, crews will begin installing the base of the shuttle's full stack. Over the next 6 months, crews will maneuver the shuttle and its giant orange external tank on top of its base. And after that, it could take 2 or 3 years before you can see Endeavour up close at the museum. Can't wait to check it out in person. The temperatures have finally cooled down, but it will soon get warmer again. NBC4 meteorologist Stephanie Omo has the rundown of your weather.
Hello, everyone. As we head into the weekend, we're checking out a look ahead at downtown Los Angeles. Temperatures getting a little bit warmer, especially as we head into Sunday. Nonetheless, it's going to be still very comfortable. Temperatures just a couple of degrees below that average. But hey, we'll take those temperatures in the 70s. It's going to be nice and pleasant. High pressure system shifted to the south actually has allowed us to cool off a little bit. But eventually, as we continue throughout, let's just say heading to the weekend, Sunday going into Monday, you start to see the ridge lift, and eventually we're talking about much warmer temperatures. So here's a look at the temperature trend. This is for Santa Clarita. Temperatures here will be pretty leveled the next several days. We go really in the mid to upper 80s all the way through Sunday. Then Monday rolls around, we break into the 90s, and it gets even warmer Tuesday and Wednesday. Be safe out there and enjoy yourselves. Back to you.
All right, what was supposed to be a fun Fourth at the beach took an unexpected turn for a Southern California teen. He was bitten by a sea lion twice, and experts say the toxic algae bloom off our coast may be to blame. 14-year-old Dane Blair was swimming off Del Mar Beach when he was attacked by the sea lion, and he says as he was trying to get back to shore, the animal was still biting him.
Next thing I know, it takes a big bite here on my leg, and then it bites me right here. Bit him on the butt, and so I'm freaking out right now.
My goodness, Blair was able to get safely back to shore, and his cuts did not require stitches. Experts at SeaWorld say all signs point to a naturally occurring algae bloom that's infecting marine life. They say it changes behavior and causes neurological problems in sea lions and dolphins. It has been 3 years since our friend and colleague Fritz Coleman retired from NBC4. And aside from doing the weather, he loves to make people laugh as a stand-up comic. NBC4's Jonathan Gonzalez caught up with Fritz to talk about retirement and his new comedy special, which he says is all about getting older.
Maybe say and spell your first and last name. No?
Shauna, S-H-A-N-N-A. Mendiola, M-E-N-D-I-O-L-A.
Partly cloudy and then turning mostly clear toward the end of the week.
So there is life after TV news.
Yes, I did the 11 o'clock news for 40 years. I couldn't always put my kids to bed. I couldn't always help them with their homework. And now I'm trying desperately to make up for lost time with my grandchildren. And I'm not bored, and time goes, and I can't remember what day it was. And it's great.
We heard the explosion in the back.
What do you miss about TV news? What don't you miss so much?
I miss the camaraderie. Colleen, Chuck, Fred, and I were on the air for 35 years. I think it was the longest running anchor team. And that's not for nothing. You can't manufacture chemistry. And I think we had a great team, and I miss that.
Would you welcome, please, Fritz Coleman. Fritz.
I do the weather right here at NBC. And since there's no weather in California, you can imagine how grueling the profession is.
I've always been a comic. Being a comic is what got me my job at Channel 4. And now I can sort of massage that full time.
Kind of like this new comedy special, Unassisted Living. Tell us about it.
This one is about old people and their parents.
Every conversation I have includes a medical update.
I talk about retirement. I talk about moving after I'm retired. I talk about being a grandparent, taking care of grandchildren who are on Zoom.
You get up in the morning and you go to put your socks on and you realize you still have dents in your ankles from wearing socks the day before.
You've always said your comedy is clean, and it is, and I think you take great pride in that. Why is that?
When I started doing comedy in California in the early 80s, if you were auditioning to do The Tonight Show or The Merv Griffin Show or any of the talk shows, you had to work clean.
I'm now using a pill caddy for my medication. The little plastic box of the days of the week. I look at this thing and I weep. Up until a year ago, I was using it for fishing tackle.
What comes out of you? Why do you do comedy? Why do you like to make people laugh? To fill a theater like this here at the El Portal Theater here in North Hollywood?
Are you saying there's something wrong with coming out to seek the approval of complete strangers?
Never.
No. I think it goes back to being an only child and just always seeking attention. I don't know. My father was very funny, great dry wit, and my mother was a great audience, and that was a great combination of people to play to in my house, and I always just loved it.
What's the forecast of your special, if you will?
It starts with an early marine layer, and then about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, it will burn off. You don't think the sun's going to come out, but then it will burst forth, and it'll be warm and lovely, and by the time you leave here, you'll have said, this is a classic Southern California day.
Every day, something reminds you you're getting old.
Fritz, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Great to see you, John.
Likewise.
Very nice. That was Jonathan Gonzalez reporting, and you can catch Fritz's new comedy special, Unassisted Living, on the free streaming service Tubi, as well as in person at the El Portal Theater in North Hollywood. That is starting next month. We can't wait to check him out. All right, want a summer job that pays you more than $45 an hour? Tesla is hiring people who can drive around Marina del Rey for 3 months this summer. The position is called Seasonal Vehicle Operator, and what you do is drive around the coastal town to help collect data on the vehicle and analyze it. The car maker is looking for these seasonal drivers at more than a dozen cities across the U.S., including Marina del Rey. Now, to be able to qualify, you should have at least 4 years of licensed driving experience with a clean driving record and be able to work 1 day per weekend. Sounds fun. A Southern California mom has a new lucky number. She gave birth to four babies on the 4th of July. The quadruplets were born at Cedars-Sinai in Beverly Grove, 2 boys and 2 girls. 3 of them weigh just over 4 pounds. Mom tells us the number 4 just keeps coming up everywhere.
Funny thing about 4 is it didn't end yesterday, having 4 kids on the 4th of July. Today, my sister was grabbing us stuff in the grocery store, and the total was 44. So I don't know what we're supposed to be getting from this number 4, but it's something, I don't know.
It sure is. It's something special. The babies are in the hospital's neonatal intensive care unit, but they're doing just fine. And once they make it home, they'll have a 3-year-old big brother waiting for them. From the dress to catching the bouquet, weddings are full of unforgettable moments, right? But for a wedding ceremony in New York, it was a groomsman that stole the spotlight. Check this out. Take a look. Take a close look. Do you see anything odd? Well, that's not a man right there. That's a llama in a tuxedo as a groomsman. Adam and Tara wanted their wedding day to be unforgettable and decided to invite a llama to join the lineup. His name is Jay. Jay the llama showed up to the wedding dressed to the nines, a full tuxedo, and even posed for pictures. The finishing touch has to be those hands, one on top of another, in a very professional pose, and I love it. I think Jay the llama should just turn this into a regular gig. And Jay, hey, you're always welcome at my parties. You can always get news and weather updates on the NBCLA app and our website, NBCLA.com. And be sure to tune into Today in LA on NBC4 weekdays 4 to 7 a.m. I'll be helping you get around with traffic reports throughout the morning. I'll see you next time on The Rundown.